Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alisha and I am the student of MS Chemistry Batch 4. Today I am going to discuss about plastic degradations and its types. Abstract plastic have become an indispensable ingredients of human life. Their enormous use is a matter of great environmental and economic concern, which has motivated the researchers and the technologies to induce different degree of degradations in the plastic. These degradation can be induced in a better way if their mechanistic implications are properly understood. A better understanding of the mechanism for this degradation is also advocated in order to facilitate the proper use of the alternative waste disposal strategies. Since the last few decades, the uncontrolled use of plastic for various purposes such as packing, transportation, industry, and agriculture, global warming, not only because of increase in the problem of waste disposal and landfilling, but also release carbon dioxide and dioxide due to burning. Commonly used method for plastic disposal were proved to be inadequate for effective plastic waste management. Due to their ability to degrade the most of the organic and inorganic material, including ligand, starch, cellulose, and helical in the review article, we have discussed various types of polymeric degradation along their mechanism, which include photooxidative degradation, thermal degradation, ozone-induced degradation, mechanochemical degradation, catalytic degradation, and biodegradation. This article also discusses the different methods used to study this degradation and the factors that affect this degradation process. First of all, we discuss what is plastic and what is degradation. The word plastic comes from the Greek word plastikos, which means able to be molded into various shape. Plastic is defined as the polymer which become mobile on heating and thus can be cast into molds. The plastic is made up of carbon, hydrogen, silicon, oxygen, chloride, and nitrogen. For extraction of the basic material of plastic, oil, coal, and natural gas are used. Plastic are made of linking monomers together by chemical bond. Polyethylene comprises of 64% of total plastic, which is a linear hydrocarbon polymer consisting of long chain of the ethylene monomers. General formula of polyethylene is CnH2n, where N is the number of carbon atom. Plastic include polyethylene, propylene, polystyrene, polyurethane, nylon, and etc. Polyethylene either LDPE, low density polyethylene, or high density polyethylene is a thermoplastic polymer made up of monomers of ethylene used mostly as thin film and packing sheet. Among these, low density polyethylene material are strong, low weight, and durable, thus are having wide uses. Plastic, due to their versatility, become the essential ingredient to provide our quality of life. These are no rival matter in breadth of use and in severity of applications because of their flexibility, toughness, excellent barrier and physical properties, and ease of fabrications. The accumulation of plastic in the environment is a matter of great concern, leading to long-term environment, economic, and waste management problems. Degradation of waste plastic through various means become one of the alternatives to deal with such problem. A wide variety of synthetic polymer absorb solar UV light and undergo polylytic oxidative degradation and thermo-oxidative reaction that result in the degradation of this material. This biodegradation offer another most efficient and attractive route to environmental waste management. The mechanism involved in the biodegradation are complex due to the interaction of different oxidative processes which are caused by the oxygen present in the air, either by the microorganism or by the combination of the two. On the other hand, sometimes the product needs stability instead of degradation. Therefore, depending upon the product applications, plastic needs controlled stability. In order to increase the outdoor use of plastic, the development and production of polymer with increased weathering resistance is required. Similarly, for the use in high temperature applications, polymer need thermal stability. Types of plastic. Plastic can be synthesized via the polymerization or small molecule and are in general classified into two groups, thermoplastic and thermoset plastic. Thermoplastic are linear chain macromolecule where the atom and molecule are joined end to end in a series of long sole carbon chain. This bifunctionality necessary to form a linear molecule from vinyl monomer can be achieved by opening the double bond and reaction proceed by a free radical mechanism. Such polymerization is known as addition polymerization. The example on the other hand, thermoset plastic are formed by step growth polymerization under suitable conditions. Each reaction step in the class, the monomer undergo some chemical change on heating and convert themselves into an infusion process. So, what is degradation? Any change of the physical or chemical properties is called degradation, and it could be due to the chemical, psychochemical, and thermal degradation and mechanical degradation of biological processes. The primary polymer degradation mechanism either due to chemical or biological causes are hydrolysis and oxidations. Degradations are two types, hydrolysis and oxidation, and psychochemicals. Hydrolysis and oxidation include chemical and biological, and psychological include photothermal and mechanical degradation. Types of plastic degradation. Change in polymer properties due to chemical, physical, or biological reaction resulting in the bond scission and subsequent chemical transformation are categorized as polymer degradation. Degradation reflects change in material properties such as mechanical, optical, or electrical characteristics, increasing cracking, erosion, discolorization, and phase separation. Depending upon the nature of the causing agent, polymer degradation have been classified as photooxidative degradation, thermal degradation, ozone-induced degradation, and mechanical chemical degradation. Plastic degradations. Factors that affect the plastic degradation are environmental parameters such as humidity, temperature, pH, the presence or absence of oxygen, sunlight, water, stress, and cultural conditions not only affect the polymer degradation but also have a crucial influence on the microbial population and enzyme activity. Maximum carbon dioxide evolution and optimal lignolytic activity occur when fungi grow at lowest pH. The chemical and physical property of polyester have a strong influence on its biodegradability and molecular weight. Thermal degradations. Under normal conditions, photochemical and thermal degradation are similar and are classified as oxidative degradation. The main difference between the two is the sequence of initial steps leading to auto-oxidation cycle. Thermal degradation of polymer occurs through random and chain degradation initiated by the thermal and UV light. The depolymerization reaction in thermal degradation need not be initiated at terminal end of the macromolecule. Instead, imperfection in the chain structure. Depolymerization, a large number of polymer polymerize at elevated temperature. Thermal degradation is the process where plastic undergo breakdown or decomposition due to exposure or to heat. This causes the plastic molecule to separate and can lead to change in physical and chemical properties. One common example is when you leave a plastic bottle in a hot car for a long time. The heat from the car can cause the plastic to break down, leading to change in its structure and potentially releasing harmful chemical. This is a real life example of how heat can impact plastic through thermal degradation. Normally, thermal and photochemical degradation are classified as are considered as similar process, and both are classified as oxidative processes or oxidative degradation. The first difference in the sequence of initial step, while the second difference in the site of reaction. In thermal degradation, reaction occur on the whole part of the polymer, while in photochemical degradation, reaction occur only on the polymer surface. Thermal degradation take by the accidental or depolymerization occur. For its initial step, temperature and UV light are required. Due to imperfection, the bond present in the chain become weak and depolymerization usually start at such weak bond. At high temperature, a large amount of polymer is depolymerized at high temperature and produce small monomers. Polymethyl methacrylate can also be converted quantitatively back to the monomers. Mechanism of thermal degradation. The mechanism of thermal degradation of polymer is an interesting subject not only from fundamental of polymer reaction point of view but also in understanding heat resisting characteristics. Polymer processes such as extrusion or injection molding and the effective utilization of plastic material. The thermal degradation of polymer consists of two distinct reactions which occur simultaneously in the reaction. One is a random scission of fling, causing a molecular weight reduction of the raw polymer, and the other is a chain end scission, generating volatile product. The chain end scission take place at the gas-liquid interface in the working reactor. The type and composition of the pyrolysis products give useful information about the mechanism of thermal degradation. Thermal dehydrochlorination of polyvinyl chloride begins with internal allylic chloride and tertiary chloride structure defects formed during polymerization. During thermal degradation, ordinary monomer units are converted into internal allylic chloride defects by a mechanism that may include the abstraction of hydrogen by triplet cation diradical derived from polyene intermediate. Cyclization reactions seem likely to contribute to the terminates of polyene growth. Thermal degradation of the polymer follow ether chain and degradation, also known as unzipping route or random degradation route. Biodegradation. Biodegradation is another type of polymer degradation in a material. Any physical and chemical change that is caused by the action of microorganisms is known as biodegradation. Biodegradation are natural and synthetic plastics are degraded by the action of microorganisms including bacteria, actinomycetes and fungi. Types of biodegradation are aerobic biodegradation and anaerobic biodegradation. Aerobic biodegradation. In this type of degradation, microorganisms break down large organic compound into smaller compound by using oxygen as an electron acceptor. Byproduct of this process are carbon. Another anaerobic example is another type is anaerobic biodegradation. In anaerobic biodegradation, oxygen is not necessary for the breakdown of compound by the action of microorganism. Oxygen is an important component for the natural transition of contaminants of hazard waste. Anaerobic bacteria use nitrate, iron, sulfate, manganese and carbon dioxide as an electron acceptor in place of oxygen to break down large organic compound into smaller compound. Factors that affect biodegradation are can be determined by following physical and chemical properties. These are following factors that affect plastic degradation by microbes. Functional group availability by which increase complexity in structure. Bond type. Bond are easily breakable like amide bond and ester bond. Coupling in chain ester, ether and amide. Composition on the base of molecules. Forms of polymer, its natural and physical appearance. Example pellets, films. Polymer density and its molecular weight. Third, toughness. Polymer which are soft degrade faster than those. Mechanism of biodegradation are microorganism secretion of extracellular enzyme which adhere of enzyme to the polymer surface and cleavage of polymer chain into biodegradation and end product of carbohydrates water are produced. Biodegradation of polymer consists of three steps: microorganism attachment on the surface of polymer, utilization of a polymer as a source of carbon, and polymer degradation. Microorganism attach to the surface of polymer and degrades polymer by secreting enzyme in order to obtain energy. For their growth, large polymers degraded into monomers and oligomers that are low molecular weights. Some oligomers may be assimilated in the internal environment of microorganisms after diffusing inside them. Mechanochemical degradation. Mechanochemical degradation of polymer involves the degradation of polymer under mechanical stress and by strong ultrasonic radiation. Breakdown of molecule chain under shear or mechanical force is often aided by a chemical reaction and is known as mechanochemical degradation. For example, mastication of rubber can lead to chain break and development of plasticity under shear. In the atmosphere of nitrogen at ordinary temperature, mastication of rubber does not change the plasticity and molecular weight appreciably, but in the presence of oxygen, degradation occurs rapidly. This is due to the reason that the rubber molecules break into radicals and oxygen as radical scavenger readily react with them, leading to permanent chain breakage where nitrogen is not a radical scavenger and thermally lead to radical recombination. The degradation of high molecular weight pairs occur under the turbulent flow and the drag reduction efficiency decrease with the time due to the mechanical degradation of the polymer molecule. Degradation of polymer during their mechanical mixing of binary mixture of cis polyisoprene with stereoregular polybutadiene and with butadiene methylstyrene or butyl rubber lead to considering change in the molecular characteristic of the components. The mechanodegradation of polymer in melt occur in term of free radical process. In this processing, there is a decrease in the width of the molecular weight distribution function a quantitative correlation between ruptures and crosslink on the one hand and change in double bond concentration. On the other hand, an increase in long chain branching due to the reaction of side chain radical, the mechanical degradation of PMMA is in the presence of nitric oxide acting as chain terminating agents create micro radicals which are used in free radical polymerization reaction. Mechanochemical dechlorination of PVC with boric oxide power CaO, Fe2O3 and silica oxide and aluminum oxide in the air reduce the molecular weight of polyvinyl chloride. Mechanism of mechanochemical degradation. When excessive stress is applied, the molecular chain break and produce a pair of free radicals which can take part in subsequent reaction in the presence of oxygen. The first reaction results in the formation of peroxy radical. The most important application of this type of reaction in the mastication of natural rubber to make it processable. Mechanically generated radicals are believed to result from the cleavage of the main backbone segment of the polymer chain in the stress amorphous region connecting crystallite high intensity ultrasound and can induce mechanochemical material. Polymer in such a case is subjected to very high vibrations which are only mechanical force as ultrasonic waves pass through the solution. The localized shear gradient produces tear of molecule leading to chain scission and decrease in molecular weight. The relevant mechanism for the observed phenomena has been explained by the interaction of ultrasound and component molecule. In a liquid upon irradiation of ultrasound, molecules have been exposed to alternate comparison and expansion mode, by which bubbles are formed and eventually collapse. On the molecule level, this implies a rapid motion of solvent molecules. Another type of plastic degradations are ozone-induced degradation. Atmospheric ozone usually causes the degradation of polymer under conditions that may be considered as normal, when other oxidative aging processes are very slow and the polymer retains its property for a larger time. The presence of ozone in the air, even in very small concentration, markedly accelerates the aging of polymeric material. This process in saturated polymer is accompanied by the intensive formation of oxygen containing compound by a change in the molecular weight and by impairment of the electrical properties of the specimen. Exposure of polymers to ozone result in the rapid and consistent formation of a variety of carbonyl and unsaturated carbonyl products based on aliphatic ester ketones and lactone as well as aromatic carbonyl associated with the styrene phase. This followed by a more gradual formation of ether hydroxyl and terminal vinyl group with time and concentration. This reaction of ozone with polymer can occur with main chain containing carbon bond, aromatic ring or saturated hydrocarbon link. The reaction proceeds through unstable intermediates such as the biopolarine or peroxy radical, which can isomerize or degrade cause of decomposition of macromolecule. Mechanism of ozone-induced degradations. Ozone normally attacks the unsaturation in unsaturated polymer and this reaction is generally occurred in this principal step. The first step is a cycloaddition of ozone to the olefin double bond to form ozone-olefin adduct referred to as the primary ozonide, which is an unstable species because it contains two very weak oxygen bonds. The second step is the ozonlysis mechanism is the decomposition of the primary ozonide to carbonyl compound and a carbonyl oxide. The carbonyl oxide is considered to be the key intermediate in the carbon bond ozonlysis mechanism. In the ozonlysis mechanism is the fate of the carbonyl oxide which depend upon its source as well as on its environment. The carbonyl oxide flip over with the nucleophilic oxygenine attacking the carbon atom of the carbonyl group. The ozonization of conjugated polymers has showed that the conjugated double bond of the polyenes react more slowly with ozone than the isolated bond to diene rubber. Conclusion. It is concluded from the foregone discussion that understanding about the mechanism can go a long way in helping the researchers and the technologists to induce a different type of degradation in the plastic. This degradation can further be enhanced by the addition of the additives in the plastic and by understanding the various factors responsible for this degradation. It is also concluded from this discussion that plastic degradation could be enhanced by its modification with natural polymers and the equipment can further be exfoliated for environmental waste management. References. Thank you so much.